Good morning. Welcome back to Lilac Oaks Farms. My name is Renee. I thought I'd bring you along this morning as I do my morning chores, and we can talk about my favorite bird, duck. I get asked a lot of questions about what do ducks like to eat, or what can they eat, or what can't they eat. Well, ducks are funny. They can eat a lot of things, and then they can't eat a lot of things because they don't have teeth. Most of the time they really just chew everything whole. Like, believe me, it's all whole. It just goes right in. So without further ado, let's go release some birds and talk about duck. I figured I'd do a little Q&A while I was doing chores. Some people have asked me several times, what do ducks eat? So I figured, what a better opportunity than to do a Q&A. Question 1. Are ducks vegetarians? Well, no, they are not. They are omnivores. They eat meat and grass and veggies and all that good stuff. And how ducks eat is a little different. They filter. On their bill, they have jagged little edges used for tearing and ripping as best they can. So when a duck puts its bill in the ground, it's actually filtering in the dirt to get the little buggies and stuff. And why they are so messy to people is because the water gets everywhere, because besides they love water, the water creates mud, as you know. Ducks love mud because it actually pushes the worms, the grubs, up to the surface because they're losing their air pockets. When a duck is dancing on mud, it's actually breaking those air pockets so the worms or grubs, whatever's under, is going to come up to the surface and they have a great snack. Question 2. What do you feed your ducks or ducklings? We feed ours the store-bought grain right from Tractor Supply or our Farm and Tack. We do have a local feed mill, but it's actually not close. And they only do a mash, the layer mash, or everything's mashed. And only the ducks like the mash. The chickens don't. They actually make more of a mess and try to dust bath in it. So that's a no. Also, you need to give them niacin. The biggest thing with ducks, even geese, is niacin. They cannot produce it on their own, so they need it from their food or a supplement. Brewer's yeast has a really good amount of niacin, and it's relatively cheap. It's like $11 for a nice big little container at our local Farm and Tack store. For ducklings, from hatch until 2 weeks, 18% protein chick start grower to start. And then after that, from 3 weeks on, it all depends on what you are using them for. If it's for meat, then you can still continue to 18%, or you can put them on the meat bird feed, which is 22% until they harvest, because harvest for a duck is usually anywhere from 7 weeks to 12 weeks. It depends on the breed. If the duck is for a pet or a layer, then you're going to want to lower the protein to 15%, and this is where it's hard to find, because that's a grower finisher. That one is harder to find. The only one I was able to find was Pool and Grain. Not everybody has Pool and Grain near them. I remember back when we first started, there was the 15% at Tractor Supply. You used to be able to get it there. They don't carry it anymore. Layer feed is the only thing I find at 16. And you don't want to give them layer until they are older, about 16%, because it has calcium in it. Ducks don't need a lot of calcium. With that being said, they can just stay on the grower finisher for the rest of their life. But it's also fatty, so there's high in fat. You can do a mix. So it all depends on you and what you would like, but that's my suggestions for you. If you are new to Lilac Oaks Farms, we are all about homesteading and farming related things. Baking, cooking, preserving, and even growing your own food, whether it is vegetable or meat. What can you do with what you grow? That is what we are all about. So hit that like button and help us grow too. Question 3. Can ducks have bread? No, not really. They can have a little bit, but not a lot. I don't give my ducks any bread. I give the bread to the chickens. It messes with their stomach and can give them gas or diarrhea, and no, it's not good for anybody. Also, there's other foods they can't have. Spinach, very little, because it actually reduces the calcium absorption for eggs. And the rhubarb leaves, just to let you know, if there's slugs or anything on it and the duck will go and eat that slug, it can do the same thing. They are toxic. Some people call them poisonous. They're not poisonous, they're just toxic. They'll make you sick a little bit, and they can reduce the calcium in the eggs, in chickens, and in ducks and geese. And I do know I have 2, a duck and a chicken, that have eaten some rhubarb, and they don't lay eggs like they used to, so it can happen. Another food is potatoes, green potatoes. If there's green skin, no, they cannot have it. They can have a potato if it's cooked and mashed. They love that. That's a good winter treat for them. But they cannot have any green skin on a potato, and that is not good for you or me. Question 4. Will the ducks destroy my garden? It depends if there's tasty plants in there. They can. They're great for going in and getting the slugs and snails and all that good stuff out of the garden because they love that stuff. But they also like to eat tender, fresh greens. So if you're going to put your ducks in the garden, let them come in, because I do know their manure is great for their garden. Try to block off the ones you don't want them to eat. They will snack a little bit, they will taste, and only send in a few, like maybe 4. They shouldn't do much damage at all. They're just wanting those bugs and maybe a few tasty tidbits. My son had habaneros a couple years back, just after we started raising ducks. And yeah, I didn't know that they liked habaneros. They ate everything and left just twigs. Wasn't doing YouTube then, so it's been funny for you guys to see hot pepper plants with just nothing left but just twigs. It was funny. So if you have those, just be careful. They cannot taste the capsaicin, the hotness in it, and they will eat it. But if you can also let them in, like I said, in a smaller group, and you should be okay. Come on, baby! Oh, the martini! Question 5. Can ducks have kitchen or garden scraps? Yes, they can, as long as there's no mold and you cut them up into fine pieces. You just can't give them a giant cucumber. They can't eat it. You're going to need to cut it up for them into small pieces, because remember, they filter it through, so they're a filter feeder. So they're just going to swallow it whole, and they can't. So they need that. Everything needs to be in small pieces. You guys are funny. I hate to burst your bubbles, babies, but I need that. Well, I hope you learned something today from my little Q&A. If you have any questions, you can put them down in the comments down below. And as always, thank you. I will see you in the next one. If you would like to watch another duck video, you can click here. Might as well leave that blooper in, because I'm done. Stick a fork.